And we are live! People of the verse, hello and welcome to the channel. This is the Eradicator and I am with the Eradicator right today. Hopefully she is going to keep me in good mood. You guys have seen that I have been quite negative lately. There are reasons as of why I have been rather negative. I have been very displeased with CIG's management and communication recently. But this is not what this live stream is going to be about. Well, it is going to be about that later. But now we have an Inside Star Citizen. So let's check out what this episode of Inside Star Citizen is going to be. Here we go. Let's get into the theater mode. And it looks like we are going to talk today about the 100i series, a ship that I am looking forward to. So here we go. Let's check it out.
I don't necessarily think that bigger is better when it comes to spaceships.
For example, with the 100i being a small ship,
This looks like we're going to have a 100i commercial, which is great. You know, we have almost the entire Origin lineup. We saw the 890 jump, the 600i, and now the 300 series is missing. I haven't seen it, and there's the 100 series. Hey, Gianpaolo, how are you?
Target in battle. Your cargo's easily accessible, and if
I gotta say that these 100i little ships look absolutely gorgeous. I'm totally digging the 100. As much as I don't like the 300 series, I really love the looks of the 100 series. And I don't know, if they are affordable, I probably would grab a couple for myself and my friends so that we can have a little 100i squadrons. That would be a lot of fun, I think.
if there's maintenance to be done on your components, it's all there to hand. These are examples of why a small ship does have its place.
Small ships definitely do have their place in the verse. I think that we don't have enough small ships. We have a lot of medium-sized ships. We're getting, I think, in my opinion, a lot of big ships too. But small ships, small little nimble fighters, I think are more needed. I think that the 100i series is taking the niche that the M50 used to have originally. For those of you who were here at the beginning of the campaign, like back in 2013, I think, when they introduced the M50. The M50 was supposed to be an interceptor, ended up being a racer, and we were basically left without the whole short, small, nimble interceptor type of fighter. And I think that the 100 series is what is going to take this role eventually in the future. I would totally grab some of them in game, not with real money. I don't want to spend any money right now on Star Citizen, but in game, absolutely, if they give it to us as quickly as possible. Hey, Scooter 0775, how are you doing today?
A lot of the time with ships, there'll be many changes made from concept to final. Thankfully with the...
Oh, we have a new face. I don't think that we've ever seen Celeste Valentine in Inside Star Citizen, but welcome to the project.
100 series, however, that hasn't really happened. Obviously, it was very important for us to keep the look of that initial concept going.
Yes, it definitely looks like the concept. It's exactly like it. I like the short little, legs that have those little wheels here. That's very Origin. Like, I wonder if we'll be able to actually land and take off like actual planes with those Origin ships one day. That would be cool, instead of just having vertical takeoff and landings.
Which we've managed to do.
I found that working on a small interior such as the 100, you have these specific areas that...
Oh, we're gonna look at the interior. What are we looking at? This looks very stylish for sure. Is this the... Maybe this... I would say that this kind of looks like the cargo area, but I don't know.
Unique purpose, and the difference of working on a small ship like the 100i is everything is contained in this small space.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be the concept phase here. We knew that they had this tiny little camping site bed here. It's a bouncy castle, says Arcade Alchemy. That would be fun, right? That would be fun. The Cookie Man says, hi from a smile. Nice to see you, Cookie Man. Yeah, they definitely looks a little bit more cramped than anything that we've seen before in any other Origin ships, but at the same time, it looks still very sleek, stylish. Yeah, very attractive.
When the 100i was initially concepted, we were obviously going off the metrics that were being used at the time, and since then metrics have been updated. So for the dashboard, for example,
yes, the dashboard. We know that they want to rework dashboards a little bit. They want to make sure that all buttons in dashboards are functional. They have too many dashboards, are a little bit too complicated with too much stuff that actually are a little bit confusing for players who want to know, oh, what's this, what's that, oh, it doesn't do anything. They don't want that to do it. They don't want that to happen anymore. We know that, for example, the Mercury Star Runner is going to be that as well, but it seems like the 100 and the 100 series will be the first ship to have those new dashboards in which each button actually does something. No fluff, just stuff.
Now gone into a more physicalized dashboard where every button can be interacted with.
There you go,
this will be
right?
the first new ship using this new mechanic.
And yes, they did say in last week's Inside Star Citizen that the Mercury Star Runner would also... No, that was not in the Inside Star Citizen, that was in the monthly report. That the Mercury Star Runner would also having that as well. Hello, Riddick, how are you doing? Arcade Alchemist is also here too. By the way, for those of you who will watch on YouTube later, this is live on YouTube, so I'm also interacting with the community. At the same time, we've got the Eradicator Red 2, who is here with me watching this Inside Star Citizen episode, and she's helping me stay calm and in good mood.
It's always a challenge trying to fit everything you need to into a small package. For example, with the seat, we had to raise to accommodate for the landing gear from the exterior.
Although an issue through making an animation to work, it actually provided a nice result in the end because it kind of separated the pilot from the living space, even though in tight confined space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how do you separate the pilot from the living space in such a tiny ship, right? It's so small.
It gave a feeling of a separation.
So the components went through a couple of iterations of placement and layout just to...
What are we looking... Oh, these are the ship components all located here behind that tiny door. That's great because there will be some engineering in the future, so if some of those components are maybe damaged, there will be opportunities to fix them, so that would be great. That would be great. This is again one of those examples when CIG is preparing for future gameplay mechanics that we're going to have eventually further down the line.
to try and maximize the space. The bed went through a couple...
By the way, did you notice the screen here is exactly the same screen as the origin screen you have in the 890 Jump? And the bed here, where's the bed?
Iterations in terms of animations and placement.
Oh,
So the
oh, it's
pilot
popping
will
out
have
of the
that
wall.
default logout option in their ship, so no need to worry about going out somewhere, being lost and having to find somewhere else to log out. You can log out in the 100 series.
That's great, and this is making the 100 series a very good alternative to the Aurora Legionnaire. The Aurora Legionnaire is, I would say, the combat variant, the dogfighter in the Aurora series, but I know that a lot of people have issues with the looks of the Aurora. You know, it's a flying brick. It doesn't look very impressive, right? So if you're more into the psychological warfare type of guy when you are in combat, you may want to bring a 100 series instead.
One of the evolutions of the 100 series was the missile launchers. In order to not change the look of the exterior of the ship.
No escape pod, says Michael Lawson. I don't think that there's an escape pod here. I think it's just like a regular eject. It's just going to be a regular eject seat, right? Just pop up from the canopy, and that's pretty much it. Just like most other ships of this side, obviously. You think all ship will be full clickable like in DCS? I don't know, Cookie Man. I don't know, but you know that they have a lot of different objectives, and their CIG is known for reworking their ships very often, so could be a possibility. Yeah, could be a possibility. Riddick here has a question. What happened to the room system for decompression and compression of ships and station they showed 4 years ago? Currently, we are safe without helmet within ships with all doors open. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they use... I know, I remember that. They're probably going to use the same in-game technology as in the Prowler. I would suppose that's how it's going to end up eventually.
We built these bespoke missile launchers that are tucked underneath the ship itself.
Where are
So
the missile where are the missile launchers? Did you guys see them? These are the regular guns. They said underneath the ship. I don't know. We can't really see them, right? Or are they inside the legs? Well, that would be weird because these are the landing gears, right? So probably not. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Mémé?
Are tucked underneath the ship itself. So the 100i and the other two variants will all have a missile launcher at the front of the ship, which is tucked away. and the 125A has an extra bigger missile launcher
So the 125A is the combat version, by the way, for those of you who are not aware.
also at the rear of the ship. Now these are completely hidden away, so again you wouldn't notice them at first, which helps us keep the nice sleek appearance of the 100 series in place.
Okay, so that's why we can't see them. They're hidden. I would love it if there was like a hatch that would open and then the missiles pop up and then it would close. Or they would have like pop-ups, like old cars. Not old cars, but, young timer cars, cars from the 70s, 80s. They had those pop-up headlights and then you have, pop-up missile launcher. That would be cool.
I'm very pleased with how the 100 series has gone personally.
Being able to focus on a smaller contained area and actually focus those details in has been refreshing.
Okay, yeah, so what do we have here inside this door? Again, more little hidden compartments.
Fun.
This is going to be a fun ship to explore and fun ship to have.
To work on. I learned a lot of new things.
There's been
But I wonder if they're going to talk about the new AI Air refuel capture system, because this is going to be one of those ships that have that unique. One of the features of the ship is the fuel scope, right? And so far they haven't talked about it.
very
Non, mais
little
qu'est-ce que tu
change
fais?
made, no major issues.
I hope players, when they fly this ship, get a sense of grandeur and class when they're flying it.
All right.
While the one
All right, grandeur and class. It's not just going to be grandeur and class. It needs to be effective as well. It needs to be good at what it does. And so far, we haven't really seen it in action, right? We've only briefly seen the commercial, that we've seen the devs talk about it. I wished that we could have seen some footage of the 109 series. And again, this is one of the things that I have a serious grief at right now, especially. I don't know who is responsible for making those episodes of Inside Star Citizen. I assume that it is Jared. This episode here is barely 8 minutes long. Obviously, there's going to be some fluff at the end, like, oh, what did we learn this week? All that stuff. So we have, overall, we have less than 7 minutes of content. That is absolutely lackluster. They should have, again, told us more about the 100. They didn't speak about the fuel intake system. We haven't seen it in action as well, and that is very disappointing. Again, I don't know what is going on here at CIG. Why do they always fail to deliver proper videos of actual content that keep us excited? Because I don't know, I'm still thirsty, I'm still hungry, I want more. I want to know more. But it's been going on for far too long, and that's why I'm talking about it. That's why I'm voicing this out on this channel, because no one is doing it. You will have other channels. They get those free ships from CIG and goodies and then of course once you are into that circle, it's much more difficult to be critical and say how things are. And then no one is doing it anymore. Well, luckily, I've never been given anything from CIG. In fact, I've never had any official talks with CIG. Nobody's ever talked to me. So that's why I'm still out there calling out CIG when there are things that need to be said and when I'm not happy. And I am not happy with the communication. I've been voicing it out for quite some time. There needs to be... then seriously need to be making an effort. And that very short segment that could have been twice as long about the 100 series is a perfect example of that poor communication that we're having from CIG.